Let's head back to the days of fun. Just watch the podcast until it's done. Thanks for tuning in to Pop Ninja.
Welcome to the Pop Ninja Podcast, where we reminisce about the pop culture of the 70s, 80s, and beyond. From bell-bottom jeans to parachute pants. From Panama Jack shirts to members-only jackets. From Smurfs and Scooby-Doo to Thundar the Barbarian. If you had a Rubik's Cube, or a Swatch watch, was crazy about Max Headroom, or ever wondered who shot JR, then this podcast is where you will feel right at home. Now, jump in the DeLorean time machine and join your hosts, Lisa and Patrick, as they take you on a pop culture adventure through the greatest decades of all time.
All right, joining me and my partner in crime, Lisa, we have the lovely author, cosplayer, and toy collector, Miss Billie Ray Bates. Hey, Billie Ray.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome. You're rocking that Batgirl costume. It's great.
I love my Batgirl costume.
And you got all kind of collectibles in there with you.
Yes, this is the Batgirl corner of the BRB TV Batcave. It is seen in lots and lots of episodes of the terrific TV Toys series, but it's where I place all of my Batgirl collectibles in the house.
Very nice, very nice. And rising out of the swamps of South Louisiana, sort of like the Legion of Doom's headquarters on Super Friends, is my pal, Jamie Ray, who has his own podcast. You want to talk about that, Jamie?
You do. Thank you, Patrick. Yes, this is Jamie Ray, Hulkboy from Hollywood himself, from Bay 5 from fans. And I'm so excited and humbled to be here on your show. Thank y'all. And Batgirl, whoo, rocking costume.
Oh,
uniform. I'm sorry, uniform.
Right.
Okay, Lisa, who are you dressed as?
I'm a vampire. I'm having my dinner this Saturday, so I was going to be a vampire for that. So
who's it going to be?
Test driving it.
Who's it going to be?
Yeah, who's going to be for dinner?
Some unsuspecting trick-or-treater. It's trick-or-treat night that night. They just don't know that they are the dinner. Yeah.
Okay, Billie Ray,
you must be the star of Silver Screen himself, El Zorro.
That's what I was going to say. Billie Ray, who do you think I am?
I was going to guess Zorro, totally.
Okay, Zorro wears a hat, so y'all are all wrong.
Oh.
I am the old, fat, retired Dread Pirate Roberts.
What?
So, well, I just thought your hat got knocked off.
Who are you?
You thought I fell off of Tornado?
From the Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
As you wish.
Oh. I thought Jamie Ray was Timothy Busfield.
Who's that?
Who?
The actor?
Yeah, do you know who I mean?
No,
Do you
I mean,
know
I
who
know
he is?
Timothy Busfield.
The Revenge of the Nerds? Right? Yeah, but he was on 30-something.
Yeah.
Don't he look like him? He's married to Melissa Gilbert now. You know who I mean?
I know who you mean. I'll have to look him up. Most people say I look like Pork Chop.
Pork Chop.
The wrestler. Or Butterbean.
Hey, I saw Butterbean a couple of weeks ago at that Dukes Fest thing.
Yeah, the striking resemblance, wasn't it?
All right, well, welcome, guys. So glad you could be with us today for our special Halloween video episode of our podcast. And it's also the last episode of our second season. So after this, we're going to be taking a break until after the first of the year. And I know y'all been a part of this second season. We've had both of you on here. I think more than once, probably. But so, okay, what we're doing is each of us has picked a horror film from the 70s or 80s, and we're just going to talk about them. So that's four films we're going to talk about since it's the Halloween season. And let's start off with Batgirl. Billie Ray, you want to talk about your movie first?
Yeah, for the longest time, my favorite scary movie, not my favorite movie of all time, but my favorite scary movie was always The Shining.
I don't suppose they told you anything in Denver about the tragedy we had up here during the winter of 1970? Well, a man named Charles Grady is the winter caretaker. And he came up here with his wife and two little girls, I think about 8 and 10. From what I've been told, I mean, he seemed like a completely normal individual. But at some point during the winter, he must have suffered some kind of a complete mental breakdown. He ran amok and killed his family with an axe.
You can rest assured, Mr. Ullman, that's not going to happen with me.
Mom? Yeah? Do you really want to go and live in that hotel for the winter?
Sure I do. It'll be lots of fun.
Yeah, I guess so.
For some people, solitude and isolation can of itself become a problem.
What, dude? They killed you and Danny.
You did this to me. Didn't you? How could you? How could you?
Here's Johnny!
Um, 1980, it was released, a Stanley Kubrick film based on the Stephen King novel, which came out in 1977. And I first saw The Shining when I was a little girl and it aired on TV. And I think a lot of the plot and what was going on in The Shining, watching it as a little girl, just kind of flew over my head. And then I watched it several more times in my life since then, and then saw the sequel that came out a year or two ago as well. But I've always been a big fan. I feel like it's just a very chilling movie, starring Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Scatman Crothers, also. Yeah, and just a dynamite cast. Even the little boy, Danny Lloyd was the name of the actor, who actually, I guess, retired from Hollywood and has done other stuff in more recent years. But I felt he was just so captivating, so good in his role, you know, so intense. And so I love that movie.
Yeah, great film.
What did you think of it, Patrick?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was creepy. When I saw it, I liked like that maze they all go into.
Yes.
Really cool. And I love Scatman Crothers. I've seen him on others, you know, he was on the Twilight Zone and stuff. But that was probably my first time seeing him, except for hearing his voice, you know. I always liked him as an actor. So the hotel, that was the Overlook Hotel in Colorado, set, right?
I'm sorry?
It was set in Colorado at the Overlook Hotel.
It was set in the Colorado Rockies, and yeah, the name of the hotel was the Overlook. It was shot mostly in studios, and then they did use some location elements to it, although it was not in Colorado, it was somewhere else. I think Oregon, the hotel that they used for it. But you know, when I saw it when I was a little girl, I guess I've always been captivated by huge mansion type houses. Of course, I'm a fan of the TV show Dynasty and other shows that show like big lush houses. And it struck me as just a big house. I think the first time I saw the movie, I didn't even understand it was a hotel. I thought it was just a big spooky haunted house. And that's one thing I love about the movie is just that the hotel itself is a very strong character in the film. And it's got this past and you don't really understand it at first. It all sort of unfolds as the movie goes along. And then you have this writer who's going crazy. And I identify with the fact that he's a writer, not the crazy thing, but I identify with the fact that, okay, he's taken on this job and he and his family are sort of secreted away in this mystical lodge, and it's snowy out, and then they become snowbound. So there's this sense of isolation, and that really adds a lot to the scary element of this film, the sense that they're going to be snowed in. You know, there's this big storm raging and they can't go anywhere. And meanwhile, things are just going sideways inside the hotel. And so I think it just has so many neat elements in it that make for a fabulous movie.
Oh, absolutely.
The Shining, you're saying you watched that as a little girl? I remember the previews for that movie when it came on TV, and it traumatized me so much seeing him chasing that kid through the maze in the snow that I would run out into the other room and put my hands over my ears so I couldn't even hear the sound because I was afraid Jack Nicholson was going to come through the TV and get me. And so I was traumatized just by the preview alone. There was no way my parents would have ever let me see it as a child. Never, ever.
Well, I'll tell you one little story, just a brief little aside. The first time I saw a little bit of the show was when it was on, I think it was on cable TV, and we didn't have cable at the time, but we went visiting an uncle of like one of my dad's brothers at his house and a little ways away from where we lived. And we were just hanging out visiting, and they had the TV on, and he was watching that movie. And it came to the scene with the baseball bat. And I remember he hit the fast forward, or maybe, I guess it was on video or something. It was released in 1980. So maybe it was like at some point where it was on video. But because my parents had a little kid with them, he hit the fast forward button like, oh, you can't watch this. And that's just something vivid I remember. But yeah, at some point after that, I saw it on TV myself.
Well, the whole scene with the naked lady in the shower, that was bad. That was like really bad rated R. There was some, full frontal creepy whatever going on there, so that I know my parents would have like freaked if I would have been I would have been 12 years old when it came out. So, but it was actually based on Stephen King actually had stayed at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, and I've been there. So I was just there a few years ago. And so it was also, that hotel was actually used in Dumb and Dumber too. I don't know if you guys knew that. You know that?
Did not know that.
Okay, all right. Some trivia. Okay, so but he wrote it because he had stayed there, and then that's where he got the idea for it. But most of it was a set. It wasn't. It was. I think they made a mini series. I think Rebecca De Morney was in it. Mm-hmm. Anybody remember that?
Yeah, and guy from Wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Bailey's brother, or was it the other guy?
No, it's the other guy.
No, it was the guy from Single White Female that was in it. I'm pretty sure.
He's also from Jennifer, Master Horse.
Yeah,
I can't think of his name.
Me either. They did make the sequel to it, the Doctor Sleep. Yeah, with Ewan McGregor. Did you guys see it?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I can hardly even remember it. But yeah, it didn't impress me any. But yeah, it was terrifying. It was, and yeah, Hong Kong Phooey is in it. Is the voice.
#1 super guy.
Yeah, and don't you remember Red Rum?
Yeah, I used to go around school doing that. Red Rum.
Yeah.
Hey, Billie Ray, what was your favorite scene?
Favorite scene? I think because I am a writer and I identified with that aspect of Jack Nicholson, I think just when he was shown just sitting there in this completely empty lobby area, I guess it was, or it was a really big open area of the hotel. I think it was like a big lobby, and just sitting there, you know, plodding away on his typewriter. The feelings that evokes, like I said, there was such a sense of isolationism. Like, oh my gosh, okay, he's got his wife and his son there, but there was just a sense of just being alone, and you know something bad is happening. I love the suspense of all of that.
What did you think of Shelley Duvall?
Shelley Duvall, oh my gosh, you know, I always have to comment about wardrobe in TV and movies. I drive myself crazy with that. But even the most recent time that I watched The Shining, I couldn't help but notice her clothing because it really reinforced who she was as a character. I really felt like, because she's wearing these, you know, kind of like frumpy, baggy clothes, and at one point she's got these like overalls on or something like that.
Yeah, like an overall dress. Yeah.
And it really helped characterize her. I think whoever chose the wardrobe for that did a great job, because the way she presented the character, I guess, was different than in the book. I have not read the book. In fact, I have not read a single Stephen King book, even though I'm a voracious reader and I'm a writer, but I've seen like all of his movies. So I don't know, go figure. I guess I like my Stephen King on the screen instead of on the printed page. But I guess she was a stronger character in the book. She was a more independent character. But in the movie, oh my gosh, you could tell he had just, I guess, beaten her down emotionally. You know, you really could get that from the movie, that she's protective of her son. Something's happened with her son, you know that. And he had been a recovering alcoholic, and he flew into a rage at his son. And so she's trying to protect him from that. But she really is just so agreeable to all the crazy domineering things that he does as he goes crazy. So yeah, it's really interesting. I don't think she's necessarily, her character is a female role model, but it was very interesting.
Didn't he break his arm?
Something like that. Yes, and that was when he supposedly quit drinking. And so then he takes this job at the hotel, and he starts to write and all that, and he meets the ghostly bartender, and then he's enticed into alcohol again. So another interesting aspect thrown in.
Have any of you seen the movie Ready Player One?
What's the movie?
Ready Player One.
No.
Oh, yes. I saw it recently.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to talk about. That Steven Spielberg, you know, he directed it. There's a whole sequence where they're trapped in the Overlook Hotel. Their avatars are, and they have to play out the storyline from The Shining in order to get one of the secret keys to advance in the game. And this wasn't in the book. I read the book, and it's one of my favorite books ever. Jamie, you need to read this book, man. It's like he wrote it just for us.
I've heard that.
It's like he sat down and interviewed us and went and wrote us a book.
I remember you talking about it. Yeah.
It had Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, all that stuff. And in fact, this new Shining scene that's just in the movie, it replaced a part of the book that had a Dungeons and Dragons scene where the character, the avatars, were inside a module of D&D, playing it out. It was really good in the book. But I understand why they changed it. They were trying to go for a younger audience, and they changed a lot of stuff in the movie to market it to a younger audience, because you know they didn't want to market it to old fogies like us. Yeah, but check it out. The movie and try to check out both of them. So Lisa.
Yes.
You want to talk about your dog?
Yeah, because I'm going to talk about another Stephen King, movie that was a book originally. So I guess that's a good way to segue. And yeah. So so my movie is the 1983 movie, The Canine's Gone Crazy. Cujo.
Nothing that lives in the imagination is more frightening terror that lives in Castle Rock, Maine.
Cujo?
Cujo?
Can he get us in here? Can he eat his way in here? Can he?
Oh my God, I'm losing my baby.
From the novel by Stephen King, creator of Carrie and The Shining, comes a startling vision of fear.
Please, God, get me out of here.
Now there's a new name for terror. Cujo.
And it's, you know, what's really weird is last night on Dancing with the Stars, I don't know if you guys watched that. Do you know who Melara Hardin is?
No.
She was in some Walt Disney stuff, like the North Avenue Irregulars. Her father is Jerry Hardin, who was actually in Cujo, and they had a Halloween episode last night where they all did all these dances to different songs, and she did a dance to Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog and dressed like somebody that was attacked by a dog in Cujo.
Oh,
that was last night.
Jerry Hardin was he played Mark Twain in that Star Trek episode.
He was the one of the detectives in Cujo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was on the X-Files too.
So I couldn't believe it when she was talking about it last night on Dancing with the Stars. I'm like, I'm going to talk about that movie, so yeah. Did you guys see it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just met Dee Wallace just like a month or so ago. We talked about it.
Okay, yeah, it stars Dee Wallace Stone, Daniel Hugh Kelly, Danny Pintaro, and Scatman Crothers. No. And Ed Lauder's in it, and I'm like, Christopher Stone. Yeah, Christopher Stone is in it, who was Dee Wallace's real life husband, and that's where she was Dee Wallace Stone. Huh. So I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but he died very young. Of a heart attack, but he was the man that she was having an affair with, because there's this underlying story that's going on with this family. The dad's an ad executive, and then they have a little son, and the wife is messing around with her old boyfriend, who's like the local handyman guy, and then there's this they're having car trouble, so they go out to this mechanic's house who lives in the middle of nowhere to take their one car out there to get repaired. And then later, after this whole affair thing comes out, the dad, Daniel Hugh Kelly, he has to go away for like a week on a business trip, and you can see there's like tension between him and Dee Wallace, and she says she'll get the car fixed. Well, then she ends up taking a car out to get it fixed, and Cujo, who I guess I jumped all over the place, but the dog belongs to the mechanic, okay? And at the beginning of the movie, you see this scene where the dog is chasing a rabbit, and the rabbit goes down a hole, and then the dog puts his head in the hole, and then he gets attacked by bats. The hole is actually a cave, and he gets bit on the nose. And then, so the whole thing is that he's got rabies. So, and then, so when they first meet Cujo, it's right after he got bit, but he's not showing any signs of being rabid. But later on, when she takes the other car out there and Cujo attacks them, she remembers back like to having seen that, and she realizes that he's rabid, and they're kind of stuck there in the middle of nowhere. And it's just, I mean, I read that Siskel and Ebert said it was stupid and dumb, and they didn't like it, but what do they know? Who are they? you know. So I liked it. I think it's a good movie, you know, and it's a good one for Halloween. And you know, there was a lot of like camera tricks in it, and I mean, it is kind of repetitive, but I don't know. What do you all think?
I liked it personally.
I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I was attacked by a Saint Bernard once.
Me too.
He tore my Tommy Hilfiger shirt. I was mad at him.
I
had a Saint Bernard bring me a flask of brandy once.
up in the Colorado, at the Stanley Hotel when you were out there in the maze.
Wow, it's back when I'm up in the North Pole, searching for Bumble.
Oh, when you were bumbling around up there.
Yeah, bumbling around.
Yeah. I got bit by a Saint Bernard too. That maybe that, and right around that time too. And I had to get 3 stitches. So you know, Saint Bernards you don't want to mess with. So my brother had one too. So
I want to mention the director, Louis T. Awesome guy. He directed Alligator. Was the other one, Jewel of the Nile, the sequel to, what was the name of that?
Romancing the Stone.
Romancing the Stone. And he did Navy SEALs. I mean, he's got a whole list of awesome films he's directed. So shout out to him. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but and a little bit of trivia. They used 5 Saint Bernard.
Yeah.
Along with a mechanical head and a guy in a dog suit.
Yeah, and to get that look of the rabies, they put egg yolks all over his face, you know. And then all of that was just, you know, a lot of sound effects with him barking and being mean and all of that, and yeah. So, but I don't know if I'm supposed to say the end or not or what happens, but if nobody's seen Cujo, they should watch it. I remember when the previews used to come on too for that movie back when it was out in the theaters. And I remember the kid standing in the fog, you know, with the tree, and he was calling for Cujo, which I have not yet. I don't know what Cujo means. Like, what kind of name is Cujo? I don't know. You know, nobody knows. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought, like, when I was like researching some stuff about it, that I might figure it out, but did not. Yeah. So
what about Billie Ray? What did you think about it? Did you see it?
I did see it. It's been a few years, and I probably only saw it once. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I think it was good. I all Stephen King's movies I enjoyed. I don't think there was really a bad one that I saw. So, yeah.
All a lot of his movies all begin with C, and they're one word, like Carrie, Cujo, Christine. You know, what's that? What's that about? Oh, The Shining. Yeah.
The C is silent in The Shining.
Right, Shining.
Right.
Jamie, you got any comments about Cujo?
I think Cujo is a great movie. I went rabid for it when I came out in the theaters.
Yeah.
All right.
You were just foaming and drooling and everything.
I'm telling you. No, to be honest, the scenes where they're in the car and they've been in there for a long time and they're just hot and dehydrated and stuff. I just found it was very well acted, especially the little boy.
Yeah.
Because he was so young. And man, I mean, it was just, and I hate being hot. You know, I love the AC. I love the winter, as you could tell. That's why I moved up here. But God, just going back, remember that movie and those scenes. Nah, I'm good. I don't need to do that again.
Yeah, it was intense. He like I don't know how they got him to do that when he was like dehydrated and he couldn't breathe. He starts choking and all of that, and his eyes start rolling back in his head and all that. I don't know how they did that either. And then just the scene with that car looked like a pacer, you know, to me. I don't know if you guys remember those. You know, they look like a bubble. You know, and then she gets locked out of the car and she can't get back into her son. And then she takes it's after the police come to try and, you know, find her, and Cujo attacks the police and she gets the gun, you know, but her kid's like in there dying. So it's she has to smash the window in with the gun. So and then it's like at the end, the husband, he's already on his way home to find what? Huh?
You gonna tell the end?
Well, he's coming, you know. So yeah, But nobody was looking for her because the boyfriend had ripped up the whole house and had gone nuts and smashed everything. And so
spoilers.
What's that?
Spoilers.
What? I don't know how much to tell. I mean, if you haven't seen Cujo in the 37 years that it's been on out there on whatever, I don't know what to say then. 38 years, I guess. Yeah.
She has a valid point. I mean,
yeah. So
it's been a while.
We could go into another Canines Gone Wild movie.
Yeah, Buttercup, talk about your movie.
Mine?
Yeah.
Mine doesn't have anything to do with canines.
It is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know.
Mine has to do with werewolves. Completely different.
Keep off the moors. Stick to the roads. The best of luck.
Thanks for the ride, sir. You have lovely sheep. Northern England first, Italy later. Right. Excuse me. Well, what's that star on the wall for? Did you hear that? Listen.
Must go to them.
It's circling us.
No one brought them here. No one wanted them here.
Sounds far away. Not far enough. Come on.
It's in God's hands now.
Stay on the road. Keep clear to the moors.
I'm, of course, talking about the 1981 John Landis masterpiece, the first real mesh of comedy and horror, The American Werewolf in London. And this is just one of my all-time favorite movies. I got to watch it again the other night in preparation for this. And it's a masterpiece. So if you love horror, then you've got a lot of horror. You've got some gore in there. You've got some amazing effects that still stand up to this day. And then you've got some comedy in there too as well. And a little bit of sprinkling of romance. So it's really a movie for everybody. John Landis wrote it he started it in 1969. And when he was filming Schlock, he had Rick Baker on with him doing makeup. And they talked about the movie a little bit. And then they were going to try to get it done. And so I just found this story out the other night. Rick Baker actually was approached to do the movie Wolfen. Patrick, I'm guessing you probably saw it. I don't know about the ladies.
I did. I love Wolfen.
Yeah. Batgirl?
No, I don't.
No? No. So supposedly he got the gig, but he called John Landis first and said, I'm going to be doing this. And Landis exploded on him because he thought he was going to take his designs away. But no, it was a completely different movie. Landis knew exactly what he wanted. He wanted a real wolf look to it versus the Wolfen, as we know, is, could be a big standing on a biped. But anyway, it's a great movie, a great cast. Extremely young David Naughton, who had just come off the Dr. Pepper ads.
I drink Dr. Pepper, don't you see? 'Cause it's the perfect taste for me. That original taste, is making peppers everywhere I go.
And Griffin Dunn are both two friends from New York who are in the moors and go awry. They stop at the Slaughtered Lamb and are told to stay on the road and stay off the moors, which they promptly do not do. And they get attacked, and poor Jack, the Griffin Dunn character, dies. And then David Naughton's character wakes up in a hospital, and it's been 3 weeks, and everybody is trying to tell him that they were attacked by a wild man. But David knows he saw the creature as a man. And so the movie goes in and it's got some really great things. I don't want to give a lot of it away, but there are some incredible effects. As a matter of fact, Rick Baker and his crew won the very first Oscar for special effects in this movie. And if you've ever seen it before, it's an incredible transformation. Before then, they would do kind of like time lapse, where back in the Wolfman movies, you'd see Lon Chaney just like sitting there, and they put some effects on him and take another picture and put another one. Well, this one, you see everything. And I can remember 12 years old looking in Fangoria, and there were pictures of it, and just thinking, wow, this is an incredible movie. And I was not disappointed, and it holds up to this very day. And no matter what you may read on the internet, there was never a sequel set in Paris.
Well, then that's where Thriller came from American.
Yes, he took this. The same guy did the makeup for Thriller, and John Landis directed it.
Yes. And you know what?
Landis already loved him because, you know, Blues Brothers, Animal House, Kentucky Fried Movie, if you ever seen that. He's done so many different movies, and he's just a master. Yeah.
Okay, in the movie American Werewolf in London, there's this little kid in the hospital, and she keeps the nurse keeps talking. No. Yeah, I do that all the time to my mom.
Super cute.
I know.
So a little bit of trivia. In the I think it was late 80s, early 90s. No, it was in the late 80s. Did y'all ever see The Young Ones that was on MTV?
No.
Nobody? Everybody see Drop Dead Fred?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Rick Mayall, who plays Fred, was also in The Young Ones. He actually is a chess player there in the bar at the Slaughtered Lamb. I was watching it, I'm like, I've seen that movie a dozen times at least, and I was like, hey, it's Rick. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, Griffin Dunn is Dominique Dunn's brother, isn't it, from Poltergeist? Isn't that who he is? Isn't he also Dominic Dunn's son?
You got me there. He is Dominic Dunn's son.
Well, then that's Dominique Dunn's brother.
And it is Dominique Dunn's, and
yes,
Dominique and Alexander. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that was his daughter that was, murdered after Poltergeist. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, from 3, I think.
No, from the first one. It was the teenage. She was the 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah. 3 is where the little girl dies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Poltergeist was cursed, I think.
Yeah, Lily will not watch that movie. She has a thing about cursed movies. She'll tell you everything that happened on those movies, and she will not watch it.
No.
You better not watch Gorilla Bob then. Just saying.
Well, we really can't watch Gorilla Bob, can we?
Someday.
Still waiting for my call.
There was like the scene in the zoo where he wakes up in the zoo,
yes.
with the wolves, and then yeah, I mean it's kind of a really sad. What creeps me out is the whole scene in the movie theater at the end.
Yes.
When you actually really get a look of that wolf. What's that?
When the blob.
Nothing. Don't listen to him.
The blob. The hairy
Everybody
blob.
runs out of the theater. Yeah, that was the best part.
Yeah. You remember the movie that was playing?
The Blob.
No. An American Werewolf.
Isn't it some porno movie or something?
It's a porno theater that he's in.
Yeah. It's like I've seen it many, many times. Yeah, but you see that werewolf like walking around like on the street. And it's like the bus.
Got a Chinese menu in his hand.
What's that?
He's got a Chinese
menu. Yeah, but that was a creepy wolf.
Yeah, it was great effects. And again, John Landis knew exactly how the way he wanted to look. Baker tried to talk him out of it, and he was like, no. And in the end, it was the right choice to make.
Hey, Jamie, let me ask you this. You might know. Okay, so that was the first Oscar for visual effects, special effects. Did they create that category because this blew them away? Or did they, we're going to create this, this category, and then here comes the movie?
Well, it was actually for best makeup. I maybe said special effects.
Okay.
But I don't know. That's a very good question, Patrick.
I'm wondering if they all
my
saw,
friends at the
the
Academy
panel of
and ask
judges,
them.
if they watched it and they were like, oh man, we've never seen makeup this good, effects. Let's make a category. This deserves it,
You're right. It
I just
could be. I
wonder
mean, the
if
same
that's
way
the
they
reason
did
it
animation. Yeah. But I'll call my friends at the Academy and I'll ask them.
Well, just call JL and ask him. Say, hey man, what's up with that?
Oh, hold on, I got him on.
You got him on the phone?
How about you, Batgirl? Did you see it? Did you like it?
Nope. I didn't see it. But I do, I have seen the Lon Chaney werewolf stuff only because I watched Svengoolie.
I love the original Wolfman.
You have taste, my friend. You have taste.
Yeah.
I love Svengoolie.
If I had a chicken, I'd throw it at you.
Speaking of Lon Chaney werewolf, Jamie Ray, you still coming Saturday to go see it?
Are you guys going to see the original?
I totally forgot that was this weekend.
Oh, you already made plans?
No, I don't, but I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, it's playing, it's one of those Fathom events. It's playing all over the country on Saturday. It's a double feature.
I'm doing my vampire dinner.
Wolfman and Invisible Man. Double feature.
No. I don't care about the Invisible Man. I like the Wolfman. No, I was going to watch it this afternoon, actually.
I've never seen him.
Yeah, I mean,
you've never seen that movie?
No, I've never seen the Invisible Man.
Right. Okay. Me neither.
Well, Patrick, it looks like you, my friend, are the only person left to tell us what movie you watched.
As you wish, Buttercup. I want to talk about a movie that freaked me out when I was a kid. And I'm talking about the 1972 movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Here in this primitive river bottom wilderness in southern Arkansas, along with deer, duck, crane, and beaver, lurks a creature that walks upright. Whether it is a man, a monster, or a myth, no one really knows. What we do know is the people around Fouke, Arkansas say they have seen such a creature nearly 250 times since 1954. And that this creature, whatever it is, emits one of the most terrifying sounds ever recorded. Boggy Creek, rated G.
And I want to talk about the writer and the director first. Earl E. Smith, he also wrote The Town That Dreaded Sundown and Sudden Impact. So that's like going from low to high right there. But also Charles B. Pierce worked with him on Boggy Creek and on The Town That Dreaded Sundown. He directed both of them. And he also directed Winterhawk, which was a movie about Native Americans, and Gray Eagle, which was another Native American film starring Alex Ford from Werewolf. He actually played an Indian. And he did another film he directed called The Norseman, which was a Lee Majors film.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yes, what a weird film for Lee Majors to be in, kind of like the Land of Time Forgot or something. You know, he's battling all these cavemen type people. He's a Norseman. But anyway, these two guys, between the two of them, they've written and directed some pretty good films. And the cast, I really never saw them after this film, so I'll mention them. It's Willie E. Smith and John Hickson. And I don't know, have y'all seen this?
Oh yeah.
What? I thought it was Boogie Creek.
Billie Ray, you've seen it?
Oh my gosh, you hit on a really good one there, Patrick, because that is another movie that I remember I saw that when I was way younger than when I saw The Shining as a real little kid. And I absolutely loved that movie. And I was just chilled by it. But yeah. I've always been a big Sasquatch fan, Bigfoot fan. So that was the original. I mean, that's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And that's just up north.
Boogie Creek is the sequel with Marky Mark.
Roller Boogie Creek.
But if you haven't seen the movie, it was kind of a documentary style, the way they filmed it. And it's about the Fouke monster, which is Fouke, Arkansas. And there's this Bigfoot type creature that's been sighted around Fouke for decades, you know, and in northern Louisiana, that whole area around Texarkana and above Shreveport, Louisiana, and mainly in Fouke, it terrorized that little town for decades. And I've been to Fouke several times, and so is Kendall Fontenot. Shout out to him. I know he's a big Bigfoot enthusiast, and he goes to Fouke a couple times a year probably. But I used to go to Fouke just about every year on my way to Branson, Missouri. I'd drive through there, and one time I stopped, and I had no idea that they had this gas station called the Monster Mart, and they built this room onto the gas station, and it's like a Fouke Monster Museum. I mean, they've got the footprints, you know, in plaster. They've got life-size Bigfoot statues. They got posters and books, and they sell merchandise, and really cool place. And I even drove out to Boggy Creek and got out and scooped up some water in a bottle and put the lid on. I still have it somewhere. So yeah, every time I go, I stop by. Pretty cool.
You drain the swamp?
Yeah, I drank it. I turned a swamp thing. But they have a Boggy Creek Bigfoot Festival, the town of Fouke, Arkansas, every year. And I want to say it was 2017 maybe. When did it come out?
Early 70s.
So yeah, they had a big anniversary here, and they put the movie out on Blu-ray. And to commemorate the anniversary, they were showing it at a movie theater in Texarkana, which is only like less than half an hour from Fouke. And they were having that festival to tie in with it. And I bought tickets to the festival. I bought tickets to the movie screening. And I bought a cool poster they had for the event. And something came up at work, and I had to cancel. It didn't really cancel. I just couldn't go. So I lost everything. And I was hoping they'd mail me the poster, but they didn't. So I was bummed out. I wanted to go. But I haven't been to one of those festivals yet. But Jamie Ray, we're going to go, buddy.
Hey, man, I'm down.
So get ready.
On what's going on. I do want to ask you, I want you to finish talking about it. I want to talk about Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Yep.
Have you seen the remake?
Oh, not the remake. No.
Yeah. I was actually pleasantly surprised that they did a fairly decent job.
All right. I like in the first one, Dawn Wells from Gilligan's Island was in it.
Yes.
Yeah. But the Legend of Boggy Creek, like I said, it was, documentary style. And I want to say one scene that was pretty freaky to me when I was a kid was, all the people in this trailer and Bigfoot's outside and they all scunch up. I think it's on the couch, maybe. I can't remember, Billie Ray. You might remember this. And Bigfoot's arm comes through a window right between them from the back of the couch, just shatters that window. and is grabbing for them, and they're screaming, and they hit the floor, and they're crawling away. And that freaked me out to the point where I wouldn't sit by a window at night. That's how scared, that's how scared I was.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
Great.
and another one is when this college professor takes them all out, the students, they go out in the woods and they're searching for evidence, trying to see if there's actually a creature out there, if they can find it. And it's night, they're in a tent, and they set up these little poles with little beep, like balls that send out a signal, kind of makes a perimeter. And they've got a table at their tent with these monitors, and they can, if anything breaks the perimeters, it'll start like a little beep, 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 it'll show on the monitor where it's approaching from. Well, they're all tired. They have somebody stand and watch all through the night, to take shifts or whatever. But when those things start going off and they can hear them, and they huddle around the monitor, and you see that beep, 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 and they all got flashlights, and they're freaking out because you can hear something out there, and they're looking for it. Oh man, I did not go camping for several years after that. It was just scary, scary, scary. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, it kind of doesn't hold up well.
Me, I haven't.
It's aged pretty badly. But if you just look at it as a documentary from the 70s, then, like you're doing research, go back to a documentary from the 70s. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. And they did make a sequel, but they tried to do too much. Instead of a documentary, it was more of a dramatic type thing, and I don't think it worked as well. I think the documentary aspect of it kind of added to the film. Billie Ray, what'd you think?
Well, I've seen it recently, and it held up for me. I as far as the sequel, if you're asking if I saw the sequel, I don't remember if I have. If I have, it's been a long time, and definitely didn't leave an impression on me.
What I'm saying about it didn't hold up. Listening to that music about Crabtree, and it's so hokey.
But it's just so, they're interviewing people and they're telling their Sasquatch stories, their Bigfoot. It's just so authentic.
It's so dated, but I'm not saying I didn't like it. I love this movie. Love it. And I want to get the Blu-ray. Definitely want to watch it again on Blu-ray, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And to watch it as an adult, it's not scary anymore. You got a few jump surprises but as a kid, man, that was terrifying.
Does he kill people in it? Is that what you're?
Hush your mouth. Spoiler. What?
I don't know if it's like a cheesy horror movie or a really scary horror movie.
No, it's made like a serious documentary.
Yeah, it's scary because it seems so real. And, I was watching it as a little girl living out in the middle of nowhere in Michigan, on a farm in the country. And it's just that feeling that it could happen here. Maybe there was a Bigfoot out there,
Yeah, because they would interview farmers on there that like came and killed their sheep or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to watch it.
Jamie, what'd you think of it? You saw it?
Oh yeah, I watched it years and years ago. I remember enjoying it. And it was weird because it was so close. I had family who lived up in Monroe and Shudrint, so I could literally know where they're talking about. It wasn't too far, so never really thought about it coming toward me. I'm kind of strange in that a lot of horror movies, they don't really bother me like they do some people. They don't freak me out.
Not when you were a kid, little boy?
No, not really. Not that I could think of.
Yeah.
But I just remember wanting to go and see, what was going on. I think actually the only movie that really kind of freaked me out was Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I just watched it for the first time like last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the little boy, when they did the previews for it, I'd have to hide. Yeah, I couldn't deal with it.
That's the part that always, when he's scratching on the window.
Yeah.
Calling for his brother.
I thought he was outside my window. Yeah.
He was.
That part always freaked me out, but a lot of other movies never did. Not really. Now, Bridges of Madison County affected me for years. I just,
kind of like Spice World.
Oh.
The sequel's playing right now.
So did you know that there was a sequel to, yeah, there was a sequel. God, what was it? Oh, it's called A Return to Salem's Lot.
Oh yeah, I have seen that on. Isn't what's his name in it? That was the
Michael Moriarty.
Michael Moriarty.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was thinking of what's his name that was in the vampire guy. I thought he was in the sequel too, but
Bela Lugosi.
No, in Salem's Lot, the vampire turns out to be what's his name? Is Jeff Lewis? Yeah. That's Juliette Lewis's dad in all the Clint Eastwood movies. That's who the vampire is.
I know who you're talking about.
He's not in this. He's not in the sequel. I guess he couldn't be, or maybe he could be.
No, I think he dies.
Oh, you're talking about the guy, the guy that was living in the house.
No, that's James Marsh. Oh man,
the original vampire. Then there was like an old guy that brought the vampire, and he lived in the house, and I mean, is the same vampire though in Salem's Lot? Same.
So the man, God, what was his name? Marston?
The guy that's like the butler guy, or he's like the antique dealer. He's like the one that has the vampire in the basement, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm like, yeah, I saw like some pictures or something from the sequel of Salem's Lot, and it looked like there was some people in it that were from the first one, but I guess it's not Lewis. Okay. Yeah. And Lance Kerman and Soul aren't in it either. Yeah.
Jamie, you know how Cinemark lets you rent out the theater for 20 people?
Yes.
Man, let's get you, me, Kevin, Chuck, Kendall, bring Lily. Let's all rent it out, split the price, and watch Boggy Creek.
There you go. It was James Mason.
Okay.
That was the guy's name, the human.
Oh, okay.
He was the villain on North by Northwest, which we just talked about.
Oh yeah.
That's a great movie.
Like yeah, Cary Grant. Yeah. Okay.
Well, who's going trick or treating? Any of y'all?
They're coming to me. They're all coming to my house.
Y'all got? I know Lisa's got a Halloween party planned. Anybody else going to a party?
Me.
You are?
Yeah, we're going over to our friend Damon and Angela, and they're having a gumbo, and we're going to give out candy there.
Cool.
Lily is going to a junior high Halloween party with boys.
Wow.
So
like the punch bowl?
I'm gonna.
Do you want me to give away a prize?
Yep. First, let me ask Billy Ray. You got a party you going to or anything?
No, I do not. I have a feeling I'm not doing a single thing on Halloween. It's just gonna be a normal night.
Get trick-or-treaters?
We might have them in the neighborhood, but we're not gonna hand out candy.
What?
No, it's a pandemic.
Oh, that's true.
I got a party I'm going to in Texas at a steakhouse. They got a live band, and they're going to have adults in costumes and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So that'll be fun.
Hey, Billy Ray, do you have any other Batgirl costumes?
You know, I was in the process very slowly of making another one. So far, I just have the belt. But I want to do, because this is the 1966 Yvonne Craig outfit by Ruby's, which is a great outfit. But I want to make get like a black leotard and make one for the animated series and the new Batman Adventures from the 1990s.
Cool.
The black.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I love that costume.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the black and yellow one there from the Alex Ross print.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Well, I think that probably was influenced by, she's worn different variations over the years. And that one is super, like, really sleek. And she started out the Batman the Animated Series with a gray leotard and blue and yellow. But then when they redesigned the series in 1996 and they redesigned a lot of the characters in the Timverse, she was wearing all black and yellow. And it was just super dramatic and cool.
Yeah. Well, yours is very awesome.
Thank you.
Billie Ray, what do you think about the new Batgirl?
Boar's Nest mug? I'm sorry, Boar's Nest mug.
What's that?
Well, yeah.
It's that too.
He's just a good old boy.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Patrick.
I missed something there.
She's talking about your mug.
Your mug, not your face. Your mug you were drinking from.
Oh,
yeah, the thing you were holding.
Yeah.
What do you think about the new Batgirl movie being made?
The new Batgirl movie they're making? I have not followed it.
Oh, yeah, I think it's being made for HBO Max, maybe.
Oh, okay. I've just been kind of keeping up with the Robert Pattinson movie, and that'll be cool. But
yeah, I actually got a Batgirl movie coming out.
Oh, yeah. I think I heard rumblings of it. They keep like twisting and mangling the characters, so I'm kind of losing interest over the years, to tell you the truth. I read some comics, but some of the TV and movie stuff that comes out, it's gotten so far away from the source material that I'm losing interest.
I always wish that in the 60s, when the Batman show ended, they would have done a spinoff with Yvonne Craig, just a Batgirl series. That would have been really
awesome.
Cool.
That would have been amazing.
All right.
Well, at least we have the Batman 66 comic books.
Oh, yeah. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, you want to give something away?
Yeah. I'm going to give away the K9 combo platter of the Blu-rays of American Werewolf in London and Cujo. And so you just need to go onto the Pop Ninja Facebook page and say trick or treat in a private message. And you can win it.
Trick or treat.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. Billie Ray, Jamie Ray, appreciate you being on here. It's always a pleasure.
Yahoo!
And we'll get you on again next season for something. I guarantee it. So, and as we sign off, I'm going to leave y'all with this final thought.
Ben Mears has been away too long. And now at last, he's come home.
The men fought at Valley Forge.
Daddy, come back safe.
Home to the childhood memories, to the old familiar faces, to a life unmolested by time.
And with your saints, let him rejoice in your presence forever. We ask it through Christ our Lord, amen.
Home to Salem's Lot, a town too good to be true.
What was that?
Did you happen to notice the time when the boys left?
We shouldn't have gone through the woods.
It's a shortcut.
Well, they should have been here half an hour ago.
Wait! Danny, wait!
Something is happening. Something terrible.
Henry! Where's Ralphie? Ralph.
Where's your brother?
First a kid disappears, then this. You're not leaving Salem's Lot, are you?
I'm not leaving. Don't you understand what's happening?
You?
Yes, I do. It's in the Marston house. Good evening. I dreamed. You slept there all night? Yeah. A little tired. Didn't sleep much last night. I was dreaming. Somebody out there.
Sweet dreams.
I let him in.
Oh, it's only all just happened
Since I came here.
It wasn't a dream.
nothing against the master.
They're breeding on one another. The vampires are creating vampires.
The master wants you.
It's a geometric progression. 2 times 2 times 4 times 8.
There's a dead man upstairs.
Bill! Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Look at me. Ned Tibbett's body has disappeared from the morgue.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Bill!
And Susan's in there. Run! No! Look at him!
Stephen King, the best-selling author of Carrie and The Shining, takes you on a startling journey to Salem's Lot.